Listener discretion is advised. Hello and welcome to Comedy, the podcast that helps you find new, emerging, and undiscovered independent comedy podcasts. I'm Greg, the host and curator of comedy. Today's episode is from the St. Louis Chat Show. The St. Louis Chat Show is a cross between late-night talk show and radio show with a little focus on St. Louis, but with topics anyone can relate to. If you like today's episode, make sure to check out the episode description for links to subscribe. All right, let's get this show started.
Begin.
From St. Louis, recorded live and unedited, it's the St. Louis Chat Show with Mark Storm and Beck Becker. This week, Lost Retail Stores, Shawn Balint's news and comments, and the price is not wrong. Plus, the greatest band in podcasting. Please don't steal their equipment. I know that's the St. Louis thing. Captain Fun and the Chat Show Orchestra. I'm Shawn Balint from Shoveltown. And now, Mark Storm and Beck Becker.
So here we go. Mark has no idea if the music is still playing. We should have tested that sooner than 10 seconds before the show starts.
Yep. Just gonna fly blind. You know?
I can hear it.
Okay. Well, you got it.
Which I guess is all that matters.
That's all. As long as one of us can hear it.
Yeah. This will be interesting though.
Yeah. The other issue though is since I didn't hear the intro, I have no idea what we're supposed to talk about today too. Because usually that's my cue to what we're going to talk about. So I guess I don't know. I'll just roll with it.
Yeah, just roll with it.
Impromptu.
Steve Winwood is the he's a if you need a consultant.
There you go.
As to how one would roll with it, he's the one to talk to.
Roll with it, baby.
Yeah. Hi there. Welcome to the Chat Show. Becker in St. Louis. Mr. Storm is out in Portland. We hope you're well.
Mm-hmm.
Cardinals are making all sorts of wacky trades today. They did not make the one that everyone was hoping for. I don't think that's a shock.
Pretty amazing, actually. I've had so many people that are part of different teams, Dodgers fans and Padres fans, writing me and saying, "Oh, can my condolences," and all that kind of stuff.
No, I'm sure. It's just so. Pardon me, I had to take a swig of refreshment there. It's getting a little predictable at this point. I put something on Twitter earlier, and I mentioned the fact that have had full season tickets with the Cardinals since 2005. My point was I've spent all this money in the last several years. You just don't get the sense that the Cardinals want to do anything more than just kind of be good enough to maybe get into the wild card. And that's it. And Twitter being what it is. And I know I'm not holding any grudge against the gentleman who just came in and insinuated that I was bragging or whatever, saying, no, what the hell? I don't really care if strangers are impressed that I've got season tickets. Doesn't matter to me. I have them because I like going to baseball games. But it's just after spending all of that money since 2005, it's like, is it really worth it anymore? But we'll see.
Yeah. It's tough when a team kind of shoots low, so to speak. And that's what, we've got the Portland Trail. There's only one professional team in Portland. It's the Portland Trail Blazers.
Yeah.
And that one team is, the same deal. We've got one star player. His name's Damian Lillard. The guy's amazing. But if they make it in the playoffs, it's an accomplishment. And they usually do. But there's never any expectation for them to continue on further. So it's one of those things. It's one of those things.
Yeah.
I know the Padres are all excited.
Oh, well, yeah.
Soto coming on.
Well, and here's the thing. The Padres are who the Cardinals are chasing for the wild card.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But what are you going to do?
Yeah.
It would have been fun to have Soto here in St. Louis, but and then I don't know if you saw, but the Cardinals just traded Bader within the last, 30 minutes, 45 minutes or so. They traded him to the Yankees.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I had no idea, man. That's my son and one of our favorite players. Totally. Yeah. I think he even has he got the Yachty shirt. He almost bought Harrison Bader shirt.
Bader's always fun to watch.
Yeah, he's so good and a good player and good, rally guy for the team. And, just amazing that they would get rid of him. Man, that just had to be a money thing, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
No, that's a shame. They got a pitcher. That's all it was about. They wanted to get another pitcher, and that's who they dumped. So,
well,
anyway, we are, my family and I are, tomorrow will be tomorrow being Wednesday. So by the time our listeners are picking this up, assuming they all listen on Wednesdays, which I presume they do, because they cannot wait to get the latest bit of St. Louis Chat Show mediocrity. I mean, if there's
just like the Cardinals shooting low.
Yeah. If you've listened to this show at all, first of all, we're very sorry. We're very sorry that you listened.
Both of us, yeah.
Yeah. But secondly, we know that our listeners cannot wait for the mediocrity that flows forth every Wednesday morning at 4 a.m. All right, enough of that. Anyway, so Wednesday will mark 4 weeks that my son has been in the hospital. Last week we talked about this. Yeah, it's nuts, man. I don't wish this on anyone. My son is in great spirits, which is just impressive as hell to me. It really is. And, I told you right before the show started, that I've told him how much I admire him for how he's handling what's going on. And that is the honest to God's truth. I mean, it's just so impressive to me. What a good human being he is. And so here's the situation. He will be getting the transplant on the 26th of August. So he's got, as of this Friday coming up, I think that'll be about 3 weeks away, if my math is right. And then we're anticipating another 2 to 3 weeks. Beyond that, hopefully on the less side, to get him to a point where he can actually come home. And man, I cannot tell you. It is so, I mean, and it's not anything that you can plan for. But to have that family dynamic, and ironically enough, a couple of weeks from now, we would have been sending him off to SLU. But instead, we're going in this opposite direction where we just can't wait to get him home. And I just can't wait to have everyone in the house at the same time. It's really, I don't even know how to put it into words.
Yeah.
I've gotten kind of used to it because I need to. But at the beginning, it was really difficult. I'll be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's a season for sure, but man, I know how that is. I mean, the hospital isn't the greatest place to hang out for a long-term basis. And for one,
yeah.
Two, I'm sure he just misses his own bed and his own environment, surroundings and everything. But it sounds like he's being resilient. But man, I'm sure he's jonesing to get home too.
Yeah, and that's the saddest thing about it. When my wife took him to the ER, we ordered Emo's Pizza for the entire family, thinking, okay, they'll all be home soon. He never came home. He was home for an hour and a half after the trip, and then he's been gone ever since. But yeah,
it's tough.
Yeah, it is. It's impressive as hell though, watching how he's dealing with it, and even though he's 18 and a half, somehow they were able to get him into children's, which I think turned out to be a better place for him. But we've seen, and I apologize if you're hearing my stomach making noise on this side. I haven't eaten dinner yet.
I was wondering what that was.
Oh, did you really hear that?
Oh, great. I did hear it, yeah.
Great. That's awesome. I had a few, because I heard it in my headphones and I'm thinking, that's not where you want to hear that.
It's not a button you push.
Yeah, but you see this little baby who's just learning how to walk, I guess at that point. He's more of a toddler, I guess. But he was kind of going through something similar, I suppose. And it's just, I can't imagine It's difficult at 18. I can't imagine having a baby or a toddler dealing with something like this.
Oh, yeah. Gotta be very tough.
Yeah. Don't wish it upon anyone, like I said.
Nope.
Anyway, we're continuing to charge forward and stay positive.
Good.
All right. It's time for a new show. The Real Deal this week. 3 full segments of mediocrity. Coming up this week, lost retail stores. Could be St. Louis, could be something else. Shawn Balint will join us shortly for news and comment. And later on, the price is not wrong. Please hang on. Ferguson Brewing Company in Ferguson is a great place to go for lunch, for happy hour, for dinner, or just drinks. And they've got a fantastic selection of burgers on their menu.
They also have an amazing selection of tasty beers, ranging from a St. Louis Pale Ale to specialty beers like their Ferguson Vanilla Bourbon Porter, or my favorite, the Oatmeal Stout.
From starters to entrees and a wide variety of beers, kegs, and daily happy hours and specials, Ferguson Brewing Company has something to offer every day. Ferguson Brewing Company, 418 South Florissant Road in Ferguson.
He's the price smasher at Tipton. And now, for a limited time only, he's smashing Tipton's prices down, way down. Prices have never been lower. Like this 8-hour, 14-day, 6-event video recorder, never lower, just $199. Or pay just $199 for this 19-inch color TV with remote control. Or pay less for this Sylvania full-size VHS camcorder, just $969. So hurry to Tipton. These Price Smasher specials are good for a limited time only. And please don't beat Mr. Price Smasher. He's already eaten up the competition.
So we're giving a master class on how to fix technical issues on the fly without anyone ever noticing what was going on.
That's why we're pros.
Yeah, so you can hear the music now. And we did it without stopping. That's beautiful.
Yep. I'm in. Yeah. And I got to admit, we've probably heard that commercial you just played a few times. I just noticed something else in that commercial. There was, at the end, they were talking about a video. I think it was a camcorder or something. And he said only $969 was how much that cost.
Think about how much that would have translated to whatever year that, I guess it was probably early 80s.
Yeah. And even today, 2022, $969 is still not in the only category for prices. That's spendy. Mm-hmm. So man, back then you're talking like in today's dollars, $2-3 grand or something. I don't know.
Easily.
Man. Holy cow.
Easily. Yeah, I didn't catch that, but yeah, there's nothing only about nearly $1,000.
Right. Even today.
So kind of on that subject.
Yeah. Speaking of money and spending and, American excess.
We thought we'd talk a little bit about some lost retail shops that could be 70s, could be 80s, could be 90s. Hell, could be 2000s. Who knows? There's all sorts of opportunity to discuss shops and stores that we used to go to. And we know about malls and the demise of the mall for the better part of, or for the most part. Yeah, I don't know how many viable malls are left in St. Louis, but, I can think of 2 or maybe 3 in the St. Louis area. Mm-hmm. Well, there's probably the one on the east side over at, is it St. Clair Square? But anyway, we're talking about specific stores this week. So I will let you give us the first one that comes to mind for you.
You want me to roll through it? Okay. Yeah. I'm in. So I got to say too, it's interesting that both you and I have kind of these fond memories of retail stores,
It's kind of, I don't know if that's weird or if it's, I don't know what that's about, but yeah, we kind of have an attachment.
Isn't it interesting? I mean, we're not the only ones. There's just something nostalgic about the mall and about the retail store. And I guess that's probably a huge success story for whoever the marketing teams were for these stores, because if they can make it a place where you want to let's go hit XYZ store at the mall because I love going there. That's a big success. Isn't that interesting though? But anyway, they just want our money, but that's all they want.
But if you get that emotional attachment, I guess that's what makes it work.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, my first emotional attachment right off the bat, Famous Bar.
That was first on my list as well.
Oh, see, isn't that sweet?
Yeah.
And it's for all the same reasons because because, we like to shop for clothing, right? No, that's not why. It has nothing to do with clothing. I think they sold clothing there, but we never bought any. That's not why we went.
I've got a lasting memory of going to the famous bar at South County Center. And I can still to this day picture the wall of Levi's jeans or Levi jeans.
Oh my gosh. I'm just picturing it now.
Yeah.
I forgot about
that. So if you go in on the Lindbergh entrance, right? You make a left to the left hallway, you go back towards the center, and then right there on the left was the Levi's section.
Was Levi's. There it is.
And it was organized by number, and I never, ever knew what the hell the numbers stood for.
Yeah, it was just 1, 2 digits or whatever, right? Something like that.
It was 3 digits.
But, that's right. Like 501 jeans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never, and still to this day, don't know what that means.
I don't know.
And I know they still do it. The thing about Levi, and I know that we're actually here to talk about stores, but the thing about Levi's is that you're putting the size of your ass on your ass. Think about that. You're actually advertising to other people. You remember the tags, right? The big ass.
Yeah. Oh, they're
no pun intended.
Obvious.
Yeah. It's like, wow, that's how big your waist is.
Right.
And yeah, it's, you were basically just advertising your dimensions for the whole world.
Hey, everybody, I'm going to shuffle by you and check out my dimensions as I go by.
Yeah, if you know what I mean.
Right.
But yeah, famous bar, especially that South County store. And I just saw something on Facebook in one of those Facebook groups. It was about the famous bar store design that, West County Center had one, South County, Northwest Plaza, and then I think it was St. Clair Square out in Illinois had that. They each had unique round store designs, with the big atrium in the center. What a cool place.
Yeah. Like that spaceship kind of look or something. I don't know how you describe it. It was just kind of like that center area that was kind of a circle.
Oh, crap. I totally, short attention span theater. I totally forgot. The reason why I brought up South County was I distinctly remembered 1986 going to the mall, going to Famous Bar and buying either Bugle Boy apparel or do you remember the cheesy screen printed Rude Dog t-shirts? It was basically a cartoony dog with some sort of saying.
I do remember that. Yeah.
I guess that's what I was into at the time, but yeah.
Bugle Boy.
Oh man.
Long time. Wow.
That's
ancient.
I had a killer pair of Bugle Boy pants that had cuffed at the ankle. They weren't cuffed 1990 style, where it was like form fitting. It was a different style of cuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in that delightful pleated 80s fit that we've all come to know and love.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I thought I was hot crap.
Well, you kind of were back then.
Yeah.
If I remember right, maybe my memory is not serving me right. But
well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Now I just get old and tired.
I don't know if you noticed, I was looking at the number on your jeans a lot as you were going by.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
The big advertisement. But yeah, Famous Bar was such a cool place. Of course, we've talked about the restaurant and whatnot.
Oh, man. I could talk about that every show. The restaurant, the French onion soup, the Michelob Dry. And
your wife worked at the West County store, right?
She worked at
or was it the Clinique counters, or was she?
Mm-hmm. It was Clinique in like 93. So, I guess.
So was she
93?
So was she actually working for Famous Bar, or was she actually working for Clinique? I guess.
No, she was working for Famous. She actually would get a Macy's paycheck, like from Macy's. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure they bought them by then. I'm trying to.
No, I think that was later in the 90s when they may have been some ownership, but they rebranded the Famous Bar stores in the late 90s, if I recall.
Oh, you know what? And I'm wrong. It was the May.
May. That's right. That's right.
Stores. That's where she got her check. Close to Macy's, but May.
That's right.
Check said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
And then of course there was there was always something cool about going down to the downtown Famous. And those rickety wood escalators.
Wooden escalator.
Yeah.
That's anything made of wood just sounds old, like, especially something mechanical made of wood.
Yeah.
You can tell there's some dating to that.
So let me throw this one at you. I was always fascinated with this store. I think I first heard about it. I was still in 6th grade at this point, and I remember going to the Kirkwood location once or twice. Casey Sports.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, going off the board.
Yeah, that's a big time off the board. I forgot about that.
Yeah, Casey Sports was a great place to go for hockey equipment.
Huh.
And then I remember there was a Casey's that opened up in South County, Lee, Ferry, and Lindbergh near the old Venture. But I think at that point, that's when they were owned by Gart Brothers. So it was like called Casey's Gart Brothers or something weird. And but yeah, Casey Sports was just one of those smaller independent, kind of like Johnny Max. You remember Johnny Max, right? On Watson.
Because that closed down fairly recently, like within the last decade, maybe or so.
Yeah. Yeah. And Johnny Max was also, in fact, I didn't even have that on the list, but that's another cool one to add.
For sure. Yeah, that's awesome.
I think the last time I went to that Johnny Max was to buy a goalie mask in 1998 or 99. That was literally the last time I went there.
Johnny Max.
Yeah.
Did they have more locations than Watson? That's the only one.
I think they did. Yeah. I couldn't tell you where they were, though. Oh, well, I can tell you that there was one in St. Charles. And I want to say there were more. But I think we have a homework assignment, I guess.
Yeah. We'll have to research.
Yeah.
Come back with that. That's cool. Well, you mentioned Venture in passing at one point by the Sports, Casey Sports. So I have Venture on my list, and I don't know why. I mean, Venture, Target, they're very similar. I'm not sure which one was first. I should have done a little more research, but no, I do know that. I have a note here that says the guy that started Venture, his name was John Geis. Mm-hmm. He used to work for Target, and then he went with May Department Stores as their executive VP, and then he founded the chain after that, Venture. So yeah, he was kind of working his way through all the retail stuff, and then eventually Venture came out. And the one thing I remember about Venture, which you could say this about Targets too, is every time you walked into one, it smelled like popcorn. Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right. The whole thing just smelled like, because they had the cafe, the Venture Cafe or whatever they call it, where they always had the popcorn machine going, and you get hot dogs and stuff, but it's just like, whenever I smell popcorn, I think of Venture and Target. It doesn't matter where I'm at because it just brings back that memory. It's weird. Yeah, I had Venture on my list as well. And when it gets down to it, I always thought that when you look back, you realize that the store was kind of a dump. True. Yep. Had that black and white motif for their logo and for their interior. And it was pretty simple store. Yeah. And again, because certain weird things stick with me, I remember the very last time I went to Venture, happened to be down in South County, needed to run in for something. There was the fire alarm went off and had to vacate the store. Oh, wow. Kind of a weird, and I guess that's why I remember the last time I was there, because it was kind of eventful. Huh. Good old Venture. Save with style. So, did you ever have the opportunity? I don't know how often you made it into Clayton. I spent a lot of time in Clayton in the 90s. Okay. For work related matters. And the Library Limited, and I think I've mentioned this before on the show, but the Library Limited might have been the coolest bookstore in all of St. Louis. I have never heard of that. I'm going to be honest. Yeah, it was in the, was it Vandevoorts? It used to be a department store decades ago.
But it was like the last bastion of, and it was a fairly sizable store too. But it was like the last bastion of independently owned bookstores, you know, when Borders and Barnes and Noble and, you know, all those other huge bookstores started to become more of a thing and gobbling up the smaller stores. Yeah. And then I think Borders eventually bought them. But they ran it as a library limited for a while. But then you'd go in and you'd see some familiar looking Borders style signage or whatever. And it just, you know, kind of started to lose that mystique.
Yeah.
But for my money, there was always something cool about wandering into a bookstore and just roaming around with no particular reason or interest in looking for something. You just kind of wandered around and you just waited for something to catch your eye.
Yeah. It always had that library kind of feel where everyone was being cordial and quiet. It wasn't like crazy kids running around throwing things, and it just felt like it was a cool place to hang out for a little bit. You're right. That's cool. Well, I got a weird one on my list. I can't remember if we mentioned this one before, maybe, but the one I've got is Dolgens.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember Dolgens? What a crazy, weird, I mean, it's the catalog showroom, right? So, you know, you'd walk in. It's been a long time. I mean, I want to say I was pretty young the last time I was in a Dolgens because they became Best, you know?
Yep. I was going to mention that. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember even as a kid, I would get confused. Is this Best or is this Best Buy or where am I? You know, because there's similar names and sort of similar stuff, electronics.
Well, if you remember the Best logo, it was all caps. And if you read it the way you looked at it, it would be Best.
Oh,
you know, because the B was small, the E was slightly bigger, the S was slightly bigger than the E, the T was slightly bigger than the S. Kind of a weird logo, but yeah, wasn't it a Dolgens, or maybe it was a service merchandise?
On Lime or something.
Yeah, on Revis Barracks, or Regis Barracks, if you will. Yeah, you're right. It was somewhere out there. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And strange. And actually, go ahead. Actually, now that I think about it, I almost think that the Library Limited may have been a service merchandise or a Dolgens at some point.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. Huh. Big warehouse. But yeah, it was, I just remember as a kid going in there and buying something, and you'd have this weird clipboard with like a pen attached to it.
Oh yeah.
This like documents that I think had carbon copies even on the back of it. And you'd write, you know, you'd go to the shelf or whatever, you'd etch in like the number, and then you'd fill out some information. I can't remember. I never did it because I was a kid, but I remember watching my mom do it. And then you go up to this counter and there's a bunch of kids there. Here you go. And then you wait like 10 minutes or whatever for them to finally get back with your merchandise.
Yeah. And
I
think
it would slide out on a conveyor belt or something. I can't remember. It was something crazy like that.
I think service merchandise was the same way, where they didn't actually have stocked shelves. You were basically looking at displays.
Yep. Or the book. If you wanted to just go right to the book and flip through, okay, there's a number, write down the number and then take it to the dude. And what an inconvenient way to shop, but I guess it worked for a while.
Yeah. There was a service merchandise. It's now, I believe, in Old Navy on Lime Ferry at Forder many, many years ago. And I remember going in there with friends and thinking, I almost feel like we don't belong here.
Yeah. It's wild.
Because we're not on our hourly wage. We're not making nearly enough to buy any of the crap that's on sale. Yeah, Dolgens, service merchandise, and Best, to me, seemed like they were always in a different category from your Famous Bar or your Dillard's or whatever. Mm-hmm. Never quite understood
I'm assuming it was budget, you know, like they could keep things really cheap because they didn't have the fancy stores and all the employees, and, you know, one employee could just run back and get a box or whatever. And I guess IKEA kind of emulates that to a degree, sort of, maybe. But anyway, yeah, strange.
Yeah, definitely. But man, when you're a kid or a teenager, nothing beat, or hell, for that matter, even into your 20s, nothing beat going to Musicland at the mall.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
picking up some cassettes at $7.99.
Mm-hmm.
Walking out maybe with a fistful of 45s. For the kids in the audience, the 45 is a slightly larger version of a compact disc. And now I know for the kids in the audience are thinking, hey, Becker, what's the compact disc? So depressing. But anyway, going to Musicland was so much fun. Go in there and just kind of start thumbing through the records or tapes or whatever, or CDs. Mm-hmm. Man, what a blast.
Yeah, one of those places when you're at the mall, that's definitely on the tour to stop at is Musicland.
Yeah. I mean, to this day, I can still picture that lowercase Musicland logo. It was kind of
me too.
It was offset to one side of the entrance. Man, could spend hours there.
I'm picturing the theme song in my mind. I'm going to have to find that online. Musicland. And then I can't remember their tagline, though. That's driving me nuts. Anyway.
Yeah,
Musicland.
Two albums that I remember buying specifically at Musicland. One was Duran Duran's Notorious. The other was Def Leppard, Pour Some Sugar on Me, which I promptly put in the car. And I don't know how many times that tape played on loop. But I remember listening to that album for the very first time in a Pontiac 6000. And I thought, holy crap, what a great album this is.
Oh, man. I think I just remembered their tagline, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was Musicland, the affordable entertainment. Does that sound right?
Hang on
have
here.
to look it up. Anyway, the affordable entertainment.
You might be onto something.
If that's it, it's interesting because in Musicland, affordable entertainment. I guess they're talking about just buying cheap discs and.
Yeah, Google didn't really.
I'm right.
Yeah, Google didn't really come through with anything.
Oh, well, it shows how obscure what we're talking about is.
Yeah.
We tend to bank on the obscure things here.
What was that music store? What was that music store in Ronnie's Plaza? Down at the end of the center, kind of next to where Club 747 was. I can't
remember.
Yeah, I remember buying Howie Mandel comedy tickets there once.
Wow.
What was that? I'm going to have to look that up. That's going to drive me nuts here for a while.
I don't recall that at all.
Yeah.
So like in the strip mall area at Ronnie's Plaza?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, we're going to have to do some research.
I'll look it up. Do you have one more? We've got about 30 seconds if you want to belt one out.
Oh, 30 seconds. Well, I've got a bunch of honorable mentions. Maybe we'll save that for like a scrap show because I've got about 20 of them. But the last one that I have, at least in my main section, is Blockbuster Video.
Oh, yeah. Of course, you were on the payroll.
That's right. I'm an official employee. I still have some paraphernalia from there somewhere in a closet or something like that. I remember I had a rubber keychain that said Blockbuster Video, but the good old Blockbuster.
You're still an official employee? Is that what you said?
Oh, no. Well, I don't know. There is a store here in Oregon that I could be an employee at. Out in Bend, Oregon is the last one.
Oh, there you go. Get to work. Earn some part-time wage. Shawn Balint's coming up next. Hang on.
So, you love classic video games and never got the chance to make your own. Well, guess what? You still can't. At least now you can come up with your own fake cartridge labels. Boys and girls, the all-new Retro Label 2600 electronic mobile app program works on most Apple and Android telephones. It's fun for one and all. Yes, the whole family will enjoy creating custom game titles in full color. You can also send them over email if you're stuck in the 20th century. Look for Retro Label 2600 wherever electronic mobile app programs are sold.
Join us next week on the St. Louis Chat Show. We'll take a look back at classic 70s game shows, things that only happen in St. Louis, and a new segment, Getting to Know You. If you'd like to be part of the show, leave us a message at memo.fm/STL Chat Show. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at STL Chat Show. And don't forget, new shows every Wednesday on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. I love the fact that I got about 34 minutes into the show and the balmy summer temperatures have crept their way into the booth.
Oh no.
Yeah. We've not reached We've not reached chat show sweat mode yet, but I will keep you apprised.
I'm getting there.
Yeah. Are you?
I'm definitely on it. We're having some record temperatures out here in Portland. It's been in the 90s pretty much every day. And I'm down here on the lowest level in our condo here, and it's usually cool down here. It's not cool right now. I'm starting to feel a little sweat, and
Wasn't London hit with some blazing hot temperatures recently within the last week or so?
I didn't see it if it was, but we're definitely in there.
Yeah. I'd swear I saw, I'm a little out of touch on what's going on with the news, but I'd swear I saw something about temperatures in the UK being really blazing hot. Well, Shawn will hopefully be joining us here shortly, but we can continue to roll on until he's available. Let's talk more about you've got a list of stores. Let's chat more about what you've got.
Yeah. And I just remembered, it's amazing what you remember and what gets stored away in your brain, because I just remembered now that tagline was not for Musicland. It's for Movies to Go. Movies to Go, the affordable entertainment. That's what it was.
Okay.
Movies to Go that got bought by Blockbuster.
Yeah. That makes more sense.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Didn't Movies to Go have that?
Good to resolve.
Yeah. Didn't Movies to Go have that logo that was basically a reel of film?
Yep. They did. Movies to Go.
Which I guess if they were still around today, the logo wouldn't have the same appeal, because it would just basically be how do you evoke a digital file sitting on a hard drive?
Some sort of a stream symbol or something. I don't know. Streaming video.
What else is on your list?
Okay. Honorable mentions. We can rapid fire through these. You ready? So,
yeah.
Boy, I've got a lot of them. I kind of went nuts. First one I have is Montgomery Ward, just because I don't know where it would be if there was one in St. Louis, but that was a retail place that was mentioned or seen in a lot of movies. And I think it was that big of a place where you could just see it in different movies and TV shows. Montgomery Ward. It was just like big enough. So yeah, nothing to say other than that.
And that one kind of fell in that same realm as Dolgens and Service Merchandise. Would you agree? It was one of those, there was something different about it. Yeah,
I believe you're right. It just sounds like a hospital or something. I don't know. Montgomery Ward. I'm not sure what's up with that. Next on my list is Tom McCann's shoes.
Yeah.
What the deal was with that place.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I'm sure I bought shoes there before, but I just remember in every mall, there's a Tom McCann.
Oh yeah. And you probably got dragged in by your parents on the obligatory end of summer time to buy clothes for school run.
That's so funny, because I was just going to throw that in, but you nailed it. So you just affirmed the one memory that I have about Tom McCann's shoes is it was almost like a negative. Maybe that's why they went bankrupt or went out of business, is because every kid realized that when you go to Tom McCann, you're about to start next school year, and it sucks.
That was always the worst.
I know. So bad.
Oh, here's one. Speaking of that,
go.
Colonel Days.
Mm-hmm. Oh, gosh.
Remember, because at least for me, going to Colonel Days was part of the
ritual.
Yeah, the dreaded insult of having to shop for clothes before the summer vacation ended.
Right.
But yeah,
exactly right.
It's funny you mentioned Zayre, because I just happened to pull up an article that mentions Zayre. My grandmother worked at one, incidentally.
Oh, wow.
It was at the Chippewa/Watson. I guess at that point it would have been Watson. It was on the west side of River de Pere, if I recall. But yeah. And I remember there used to be a huge slide next to the building.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I know the slide you're talking about.
Yeah, one of those
Ted Drew's.
Yeah, one of those potato sack slides, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. My cousin broke his arm on one of those back in the day when you couldn't sue for that kind of stuff, I guess. So I never got any money or anything, but yeah, times have changed, man.
I never went into any Zayre store ever, but I remember seeing them.
I mean, I remember the sign with like Zayre and all capital, like
Mm-hmm.
It's like no style, kind of all capital letters.
Just generic lettering and
yeah. Anyway, next on my list is Photomat with an F. Photomat.
I still, and I was actually I found myself going down every now and again. I'll get some sort of idea in my head and I'll start doing some internet research. But for some reason, I found myself what's the word I'm looking for? I found myself intrigued by the notion of sitting in a booth by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that had to be so incredibly boring.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And all you're doing is receiving little envelopes with, containers of film in them.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you have to hit the toilet for any reason, I don't know how that works.
Oh, good question. I don't know. Do you put a sign back in 15 minutes and go to McDonald's or something? Maybe that's what they would advise. I don't know. Interesting. Yeah. Photomats.
Yeah.
That's such a historic, man. I mean, the coffee shop, I guess, we have Dutch Bros out here, which is just like a little Photomat type place. It's bigger, but it's a coffee place where you can just drive through on both sides, because I think some of those Photomats had both sides you could drive through, right? And I want to speed things up.
Yeah, I want to say that there's a couple of those in St. Louis as well. For some reason, I'm thinking Baldwin or Ellisville down in Manchester is one in particular, but I could be completely mistaken on that.
Yeah.
But then, of course, those became
that.
Yeah. Then of course, those became I remember the one at South County Mall, in fact.
Mm-hmm. Like in the parking lot?
Yeah, it was over.
Like in the middle of it?
It was over on the theater side of the mall. It was near, I'm going to drop a name here, 10 Holder Travel.
Oh, wow. That's crazy you'd remember that.
I can still picture it.
Oh, it's funny.
In fact, I remember that little shopping center where the Photomat was. I remember was with my parents the day after Elvis Presley died, and I remember looking at the newspaper in the Post-Dispatch machine. What a weird thing to remember.
That is pretty odd.
Yeah.
You've got interesting thought, memories.
I do.
Perfect for the show.
Yeah, it is.
Nostalgia. Oh, man. So a couple more on here. Well, I got a bunch more. I've got 2 toy stores, KB Toys.
Oh, crap.
Toys R Us is the bigger one, but KB Toys in the mall.
How did we not think of these? Well, here's a couple for you. Toys Chest on Lindbergh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, I forgot about that.
And I want to say there was a toy chest further up Lindbergh on the north end, up near Northwest Plaza. I think it was a toy chest. It may have been a Children's Palace, but...
Children's Palace. Holy cow.
Yeah.
I forgot about that too.
Bringing the heat for old school toy stores, but...
It's big time.
Yeah, you remember Toy Chest, right? It had the gigantic fake letter blocks stacked out front.
Yeah, I want to say they had it. It was an interesting font too. I remember for those letters, wasn't it? I can't remember. I'm trying to picture it. We'll have to see if we can find a picture.
Oh, there've got to be pictures somewhere.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
Yeah. And KB was always it was a smaller store, of course, but still fun to go into even as an adult.
Yeah, and it was worthwhile going into even as a teenager, because if I remember right, they sold Atari cartridges and, they had all that stuff too. So it wasn't just like, stuffed animals and puzzles or whatever. They actually had some electronics in there too.
Here's one that you used to see.
Toys.
Oh, yeah. Here's one you used to see in every mall. Remember Woolworth or Woolworths?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Woolworths. Yeah, the 5 and dime.
Yeah,
isn't that what it was?
Am I mistaken, or was there some sort of weird turnstile thing that you had to go through to go into the store?
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah, they had like the Disney turnstile to get in, just to get a head count. I don't know. Why would they need that?
Or was it a security measure?
Security thing?
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, maybe a deterrent. How do I work this thing? I can't get out. I just want to steal something. Yeah, I don't think it would work.
People walking out with cheap Woolworth crap.
Right, with a thimble or spool of thread.
And then, of course,
I seem to remember they sold fabric and stuff. And
it was a little bit of everything. And then how about Ben Franklin? I don't believe those are still around. Yeah, I don't believe those are still around.
No.
down where both of us where we used to live down in South County. What was it? Concord Plaza.
Yep.
And I think I shared these pictures with you at some point. But when they renovated Concord Plaza, God, it was probably more than 10 years ago at this point. But they tore the facade off the front of the building, and it exposed an old Ben Franklin sign that was painted onto the bricks. Yeah, and it was really old.
Huh. That's cool. Huh. Yeah, that's I want to say there was a Ben Franklin right by that Blockbuster I used to work at on Tesson Ferry.
I think you're right.
Behind it.
I think you're right.
I think that used to be a Ben Franklin too. Anyway.
Yeah.
Interesting. Let's see what's on my list. So I have Sports Authority on my list too. That's another sports chain that went under.
Yeah, and they really didn't come around until when, the 90s?
Yeah. Pretty late to the game, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And no more. I have Levitt's on here. You'll love it at Levitt's. Because, yeah.
The only Levitt store that I can remember was down on, was it Bayless? I want to say it was Bayless. It was near the old Lime Bowl, which is no longer around.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm.
For some reason, I feel like I'm doubting myself that it was the Bayless exit. But anyway, that's the only Levitt store that I can remember.
Yeah, I seem to remember one on Tesson Ferry too, but I could be wrong. But I just remember that they were big pushers of the Lazy Boy recliner. Like that was their big thing. I think that was their hallmark, was the Lazy Boy. Which, what a terrible name for a piece of furniture, the Lazy Boy. But I guess it typifies what you're doing.
Yeah, you're being lazy.
Yeah. Are you lazy?
Yeah, maybe.
Then you need a Lazy Boy.
Oh, here's one. How about Blockbuster Music? So you mentioned Blockbuster Video, but do you remember when they tried to branch out?
Yeah. Yep. To a music store. Yeah. That was ill-fated for sure.
It was a cool store because they set up those listening stations.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's right.
It was a neat store to go into.
Yeah, Blockbusters, that whole thing is an interesting story. I mean, because they also had, Wayne Huizinga? I think that was their CEO, if I remember right. And he started AutoNation, too, which was the CarMax competitor. And I don't know if AutoNations are still around. I'll have to look. But they tried to get into the car business from the video business, I guess, and compete with CarMax. Yeah.
Kind of a weird way to diversify, I guess.
Yeah. And then they also went into like the... what's that Redbox service? They kind of had the Red Boxes in supermarkets where you could actually go to the grocery store. You buy your groceries on the way out. You take a video home with you, and it was really cheap to return.
Why do I think those are still around?
Oh, they might be. I don't know. I haven't seen them out here on the West Coast, but
I'd swear that there was a Redbox, or still is a Redbox, outside the Walgreens by my house.
Yeah, I want to say kind of more in rural areas. Maybe you'll see those. I'm guessing.
Redbox is still around. Rent or own on DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, on demand, etc. I don't see VHS on here.
No VHS.
Yeah.
No reel to reel.
That rules me out.
Yeah. Shoot. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And also I have, speaking of record stores, I have Tower Records on here too, which, I always got confused with Tower Records and Tower Music, which is the music store in Fenton that I used to teach guitar lessons at. But Tower Records was pretty big, and Peaches too. I didn't even have that on my list, but Peaches Records and Tapes.
Yeah.
Another big.
Peaches was always a blast to go to. And I know we've talked about Peaches before, and you can't forget about, of course, the world famous Peaches album crate.
Exactly what I was thinking of, which I guess is how they named it, because, you stack all the records in those, they fit perfectly.
Yeah.
And they're in peach crates. It's like, well, let's name it Peaches.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's why it got named Peaches.
Makes perfect sense.
I would think so.
Oh man. Now everything is on the internet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everything is on the internet.
It's all digital. You're nostalgic if you go buy a record nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah, we're old. Whatever. We don't have any say in the matter. All right.
It just happens.
Yeah. The Price is Not Wrong coming up next.
Check out all the back-to-school values at Venture. Pack up a canvas school bag, $3.99. Make the grade in fleece dresses sizes 7 to 14, $8.99. Cheer under a stadium blanket, $8.88. Listen to Lennox's dual cassette AM/FM portable stereo, $39.88. Show off in ladies' Gazzano jeans, $13.88. And register to win a Yamaha motor scooter. For real back-to-school savings, check out the values at Venture through Saturday.
Save at Venture. Save with style.
You shop at Grandpa Pigeon's, you're likely to run into some people you wouldn't expect to find shopping at Grandpa Pigeon's. People who can afford to shop anywhere they want. But for their everyday shopping, they choose Grandpa's. Because they know that it's what they buy at Grandpa's that makes it possible for them to buy what they don't buy at Grandpa's. Grandpa's, a one discount store that's still a discount store.
Here it comes. Podcasting's most exciting 8 minutes of fantastic prizes. The fabulous 8-minute The Price is Not Wrong. Becker, come on down. You are the only contestant on The Price is Not Wrong. And now the star of The Price is Not Wrong, Mark Starr.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. That's so awesome. Don't forget to have your pets spayed or neutered.
Oh wow! I didn't know we were doing the. Public service announcement.
There you go. I had to throw that in.
Sure.
Usually it's at the end, but I figured I'd throw it right off the bat in case people turn it off because they don't like it.
I do. I need to apologize to the housewife from Pasadena, California, who I inadvertently elbowed in the face trying to get out of my row of seats to get down to the stage.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Housewife or homemaker? I don't remember what she said. I think they're both interchangeable in 1974.
Pretty much. Yeah. It's funny.
So
all right.
So we're here to play pricing games, or I am at least, right?
Yes, we are. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I can give you an idea of how this is going to go. So I've got something special I'm doing today. This is The Price is Not Wrong, and it's got a subtitle of Then and Now, the Sports Edition.
Oh wow! Ooh, what am I playing for today?
Sports Edition. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Let's find out. What are you playing for?
A new set of golf clubs.
Oh, nice.
From Pinseeker Golf, a set of custom-made irons, woods, and bags. The best in fine stainless steel for greater distance, accuracy, playability, and quality. From Pinseeker. A new dinette set. From Whitecraft, a beautiful 5-piece dining set featuring 4 elegant throne chairs and a glass top table. The Outdated line. From
Outdated?
A new sports car! The 5-speed 280ZX sports car from Datsun. Power steering, air conditioning, power brakes, AM/FM stereo, cruise control, tinted glass, and crate windows, a used ashtray, and over 450,000 miles on the odometer. Mark?
Thank you. Thank you.
450,000 miles on the odometer, over 450,000.
Should be pretty accurate for when we're talking as far as how long ago those shows were. But yeah, that I never noticed that flute player. He was pretty hot.
Oh yeah,
that's playing that soundtrack.
Oh, that's yeah. You're talking about the guys in the orchestra.
Oh yeah, yep. Yeah, and I can see him, and he's got, I can picture him with like this huge afro and like full beard playing a flute.
Yeah, we would introduce him.
Anyway,
but I was not prepared to have a fake name ready.
That's okay. That's all right. We'll get him next time.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready for this? This is the Then and Now Sports Edition.
Okay.
The Price is Not Wrong.
Let's hear it.
Okay. So there's two different things you're going to have to accomplish here. One is you're going to be naming the price for these things that I mentioned, all sports related. The other is we're going to also play higher or lower.
Ooh,
to hopefully
nice.
make things a little easier.
Nice.
So we've got those two facets.
Pricing games.
Yeah. So are you ready? Because we're about to jump in.
I'm ready.
Okay. We're going to start with Major League Baseball, the MLB section of sports.
Okay.
And, I arbitrarily picked a date, of 1960.
Okay.
So we're going to do then and now with 1960 for all of these. Okay. Here's your first question. It's multiple choice. So what was the average ticket price for a Major League Baseball game in 1960? The average ticket price. Was it A, $5, B, $1.96, C, 59 cents, or D, a wooden nickel?
What was B?
Of a baseball ticket. B was $1.96.
I'm going to go with A.
A, $5? Is
$5.
that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It was B. You had it. $1.96.
Damn.
$1.96.
I should have.
I mean, like pocket change.
I should have stuck with my original. Okay.
That's okay. All right. 0 for 1. That's okay.
Yeah.
You'll get some of these, so don't worry. Okay. So now we're going to move on to, let's compare that to the average. So this is the then and now portion. We're comparing that to the average ticket price today, 2002. And this is where we're going to play higher and lower. The average ticket price for baseball.
Did you say 2002?
Oh, 2022. Excuse me.
Okay.
I did say 2002. I'm sorry. Yeah. Game show hosts, they make a lot of mistakes. Sorry. So the average ticket price today, is it higher or lower than $35 for the average price for a baseball ticket, Major League today? Higher or lower? $35.
Higher.
Higher?
Higher.
That's your answer?
It is.
That is correct. That is correct. The average price is $53 for a baseball.
All
ticket.
those premium seats, crank it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because, I know the Cardinals run the $5 bleachers or whatever, but I guess that doesn't sway it enough to keep it at an average price of $53 a ticket. And so, if you take that price and you multiply it by how many people attend, what is that? Like, how many people they usually get? Like 30K or?
Yeah, 30,000, give or take. Yeah.
Anyway, that's some coin. They're doing well. Okay, so staying with Major League Baseball, we're going to talk about salaries now.
Okay.
For Major League players. What was the average salary for a Major League player in 1960? Was it A, $16,000 a year, B, $26,000 a year, C, $46,000 a year, or D, $66,000 a year?
I'm going with A.
For the average salary. A, 16,000?
Mm-hmm.
That's correct. You got it. 16K.
That's nuts.
A year is what they made in 1960.
Crazy.
Just as a metric. Yeah. As a metric, they, the average salary as a whole for the U.S. for all jobs was $5,600 per year. So they were making triple that as a Major League Baseball player.
It's all relative, I guess, but still, I guess it just shows what a dollar was worth back then. Have I won the golf clubs yet?
No. We've got a few more to go here.
Okay.
We got lots of time, right? Oh, no, we don't. We only have 1:40. Okay. I'm not going to get to all these. Okay. So let's compare that to today, then and now. What do you think the average salary of a Major League Baseball player is? The average salary today, is it higher or lower than $2.5 million for average MLB player?
Higher.
Higher than 2.5 million for average?
Yeah.
Okay, you're right.
I see that you tried to instill some doubt.
I do want you to win, but I also like to see you squirm. No, the average Major League Baseball player today makes 4.41 million per year. Can you believe that?
Good work if you can get it.
Whew, yeah, that is nice. So the highest paid player, just for fun, do you know who the highest paid baseball player is? Do you think you can take a guess?
I do not.
St. Louisan, but not for the Cardinals. Doesn't play for the Cardinals. But went to high school, I think, in St. Louis, if I remember right. Max Scherzer.
I was going to say Max Scherzer, yeah.
Yeah, he's the highest paid. You want to try and guess, or do you want me to tell you how much he gets paid per year?
$220,000 a year.
No, it's shooting a little low there. $43 million a year for 3 years. He has a contract.
Wow.
$43 million for 3 years.
So I've got three right and one wrong. And there's
So you nailed it. Like we're about to run out.
Oh, did I win?
I was going to say number 2 is Mike Trout. Yeah. So you won. Go. Yeah.
Seems like Seems like we chewed up too much time on the, oh well. It was still fun.
I got a lot left. Yeah.
Well, hang on to those.
For future shows. Yeah.
Hang on to those. We're going to have to, we'll bring this back and we'll finish it up soon. I guess that does it. Son, we're sorry we missed you this week, but we will, technical issues undoubtedly got in the way. We'll catch up soon. Next week on the show, 70s game shows, things that only happen in St. Louis, and getting to know you. Yeah. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at STL Chat Show. Leave us a message at memo.fm/STL Chat Show. As per usual, you can catch us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen. Mark, this was a good time.
Yep, lots of fun. Thanks.
All right. Robbie, hang in there, buddy. I love you. We'll see you soon. Take care, everyone.
Thanks again for listening to Comedy by Indie Drop-In Network. If you would like to nominate a comedy podcast to be featured, just send me a tweet at Indie Drop-In. I'd also love to hear if one of our featured podcasts is now your favorite show. Indie Drop-In survives off ad revenue and listener donations. If you would like to contribute, please consider buying me a coffee. Just go to buymeacoffee.com/Indie Drop-In. If you look at the very bottom of the episode description, you will see a link. Indie Drop-In has many other shows that you also might like. Just go to indiedropin.com. All right, we'll see you next week.